Urban homesteading. This is Go Island. Go Island is on location today in Powell River, and right now we are at Kevin Wilson's home where he is homesteading in an urban setting. His property is only 40 feet by 200 feet. And in a couple of weeks, they are going to be hosting workshops over at the Anglican town site. We're going to hear all about that to teach people how to be farmers in an urban setting, even if you only have a condominium with a balcony. It's pretty neat. So it's all about being self-sustaining. So coming up in today's show, a little bit of everything, but we're going to start right here in Powell River. Urban homesteading is all about being self-sustaining. And the shot that John opened with, yes, our new videographer, journalist, John McKenzie here in Powell River, he's the one shooting with me today. It's not gourd. So it's awesome to have John on the North Island Powell River team. It's been fantastic to have stories coming out of Powell River. Now, what he opened the shot on were walking onions. And they're really cool because they grow really tall, and then they get little things on, they fall over and they root again. So again, it's just something you can grow in your backyard no matter how big your backyard is. Here at Kevin's house, it's only 40 feet wide by 200 deep. That's the entire lot. It's about 1/5 of an acre. And the workshop that's coming up in a couple of weeks over at the Anglican Church in town site is going to teach you all about urban homesteading. So stay tuned for more information on that. Right now, we're going to head over to Campbell River. Urban homesteading. Here in Powell River, there is a workshop coming up, as we've been telling you, and here is Kevin Wilson, and this is his property. It's only 40 feet wide by 200 feet deep. You do not need to have a 5-acre plot of land to do urban homesteading. What a concept! Basically, your entire backyard is garden.
That's right.
So what is going to tell us what urban homesteading is?
Well, the idea is to take the concepts of homesteading, where you're looking at self-reliance and self-provisioning, growing your own things.
Yes.
And to show people that you can do that wherever you are. You don't even have to have a lot like this. You can do it if you're in a townhouse, you've got a patio, you've got a balcony in your apartment, even if you've got a basement suite. My daughter grew tomatoes on the windowsill in a basement suite.
Really?
A few years ago.
Okay.
So obviously you're not going to feed yourself entirely off something like that, but there's loads of things that you can do that will be not just gardening even. All the things like food preserving, you don't have to grow the food yourself. You go to the farmer's market and you buy your 60 pounds of tomatoes and you can them.
Okay.
That's urban homesteading as well, self-provisioning.
Oh, okay.
And not just food even.
Okay.
I'm just going to keep going.
Yeah, no, please.
Food,
so if
food
it's
is
not
great.
food.
What about providing your own clothing? So at the end of January, we had a weekend of workshops called Fibre and Fabric from the Ground Up. And people
Wow.
were spinning and weaving and knitting and crocheting and all
Okay.
kinds of stuff. And a whole lot of stuff that was reusing things that already exist. You know,
Okay.
taking clothing or yarn that was scrap and reusing it, turning it into something else. We had a
Wow.
load of fun doing it.
Cool. So the workshop coming up at the end of March, it's a boot camp.
That's right.
It's called Urban Homesteading Boot Camp.
Yep, it's the spring boot camp. We have a
Spring boot
spring
camp.
one and a fall one.
Oh, okay. All right. Now, how many people do you have room for?
Up to about 25 maximum, I would say. We've got 12 different workshops going, 2 at a time, so people have to pick between them.
Right.
But that means, you know, each workshop is going to have 10 or 12 people in it, and that's
Right.
enough because many of
Okay.
these are hands-on.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
it's not just somebody standing there talking at you for 2 hours.
Right.
You get to do stuff.
Okay.
You'll be building a hugelkultur bed or building a freezer composter. We built biochar generators at the October boot camp.
Wow. That sounds really complicated. What about somebody who is an absolute beginner, never grown anything in their life?
There's stuff for you too.
Okay.
There's a container gardening
That's
class,
good to
for
know.
instance, for people who don't have a yard like this
Okay.
and who need to know how they can grow stuff in containers
Okay.
without, you know, what happens with containers is they tend to run out of nutrients.
Okay.
So that's the big thing with them is managing the water and
Right.
the nutrients so that
Right.
things grow well. Yeah.
Okay. Now, about a week ago, we were visiting with Wendy Devlin, and she's got a nice 10-acre plot of land, and she's involved in the Seed Savers, and she was telling us you're one of the original group
That's right.
that started the Seedy Saturday
Yeah.
here in Powell River, and they had their 10th anniversary. Now, she's got a nice big piece of property. Now yours is, it's only 40 feet wide.
That's right. It's
Okay.
about 1/5 of an acre, this property.
1/5 of an acre. Wow.
And we can really only grow a lot of vegetables in the back here because
Okay.
this is where we've got a fence round to keep the deer out.
Right, of
You know,
course.
lettuce and stuff would not survive in the front yard.
Okay.
But we can plant squash and potatoes and onions and things in the front yard, and the deer don't eat them much.
They don't like those.
They don't like those. No.
Oh.
They nibble the tops of the leeks a bit.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes they'll eat a few potato leaves, but not
Okay.
much.
Now, with like deer, even in this urban setting, deer is still an issue here in
Oh,
Powell
very
River?
much
That's
so.
Okay.
Not so much in places like Westview, where it's closer into the centre of town.
Okay.
But here, you know, that's the bush there.
Oh, right.
So, yeah,
okay.
we get bears and
very
deer and all
close.
kinds of things coming through.
Okay,
Yeah.
you mean that bear that's right behind John?
That's right, that one.
That's a nice looking bear.
And cougar, too.
And cougar too.
Actually, seriously, if I'm weeding out the front and I'm on my own, I'm looking over my shoulder every now and again.
Really?
Yes. That we
Wow.
have had cougars and even a grizzly bear on this street.
Seriously?
Yes.
Even grizzly? I didn't think grizzlies were on the island.
They don't normally come here,
Okay.
but very occasionally, like once every few years, one
Yeah.
will sort of randomly wander in.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So this is the urban homesteading, and this is your home.
Yeah.
Now, but the workshop is happening.
It's happening at the Townsite Anglican Church.
Okay.
We have a garden there called Sycamore Commons,
Okay.
which the local permaculture group has been putting in over the last few years.
Oh, okay.
And I was involved with the first year of that too on the
Got it.
permaculture design course.
So we're actually going to head over there for the rest of the show, and we're going to chat with a couple people over there, I think.
That's right, yeah, some of our
okay.
workshop instructors.
Excellent. All right. Well, Kevin, thank you so much for letting us invade your backyard, and it is so cool. Like, the only thing missing is chickens.
That's right.
Okay.
At the moment, I got too many house projects to be building a chicken house, and you have to build a really skookum one here again because of the bears.
Right, of course.
Yeah, and I want ducks anyway.
Oh, yeah, and ducks. Wendy's got the
Wendy's got
cutest
ducklings
little
now, hasn't she?
ducklings.
Yeah.
Oh, they're adorable. They're
Yes.
so soft. All right, well, Kevin, thank you so much for all this information. This sounds really great, and I love that you guys are sharing what you know with the masses.
Absolutely.
So that is
yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, and people are so interested. Yep.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you so much. All right, we're going to take a short break. We'll be back. Go Island has moved locations now, and now we are down at the Anglican Church here at town site at one end of Powell River. And joining me is Yanni, and he's going to be doing one of the workshops at the upcoming urban homesteading workshops that are going to happen right here at the town site Anglican Church. Now, Yanni, what is your workshop about?
So my workshop is about low maintenance, edible or medicinal perennial plants. So there's a lot of perennial plants people are familiar with, like sage and rosemary. We've got some of those growing right here.
So that's a big sage plant there.
This is a
that
sage
what that
plant.
looks like?
This is a
Okay.
perennial. It comes up year after year, so you only have to plant it once.
And then that guy over there is what? That rosemary?
That is a rosemary. Yeah, but
Okay.
both of these are plants that are really good to use in cooking, and they're
Okay.
also aesthetic just to have around in your yard.
So an annual plant you have to plant every year, but a perennial plant you can plant it once and it grows year after year.
Yes.
Okay, I was always very confused about that. I don't know about you, but I always got the annual and the perennial totally mixed up. So this would be a good course for me to take because I need to learn because I like planting but not every year. So what are some of the things that you're going to be, are you going to pick 5 different plants and talk about that in the workshop or?
What I'm looking for is plants that not just look pretty as perennials, but that you can get some food out of. So in a way,
okay.
I'm sneaking food into people's gardens.
So it's not just the pretty flowery stuff, although garlic, is garlic perennial?
Garlic is an annual.
Is an annual, oh, see, I love garlic.
There might be perennial garlics out there.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right,
don't
so
know.
what are some of the plants that you're gonna focus on in the workshop?
One of them, Siberian pea tree, is
What's that?
It's a plant that fixes nitrogen to the soil, so it's good for improving your soil. You can eat the little
okay.
pods from it.
Okay.
You can cut the clippings and feed them to chickens, and chickens really like that. So it's a plant that some people might even have around here. They just don't know the ways you can use it.
Okay, I see. Well, and what's the advantage to perennials other than you plant them once and they grow and grow and grow?
That well, I find them beautiful. They're low maintenance, or they can be low maintenance depending on the species. Some of them you just have to clip a little bit every year. Some of them you don't have to touch them at all. They just take care of themselves.
Right.
So for someone that's looking to garden but isn't looking to put a lot of time into their garden, perennial plants might be the key.
The way to go. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time today and educating us about perennial versus annual. And good luck with the workshops. I'm sure they're going to be a lot of fun. We're going to take a short break. We will be right back. I'm Mary Ruth Harris. You're watching Go Island on Shaw TV's Channel 4. We are in Powell River. We're now at the Anglican Church here in town site. Now joining me is Rin, who is involved in the whole of the garden that exists here. How did this garden come to be?
Well, I am the co-coordinator of this project along with my co-conspirator Ron Berzan. And we started this project as a community permaculture project. This is our third year.
Okay.
And we use it as a demonstration garden, a food sharing space, a teaching space. And the church lets us use their grounds, but we're not affiliated directly with the church, so it's not a faith-based project in any way.
Okay.
But it's a way for us to take this space that the congregation really wanted to see. They had this big space and nobody really was using it, and they're a small congregation. They wanted to find a way to connect more with the community, and we were looking for a place to do a community permaculture project, and so it just worked out. So the garden is here for anyone to come and pick food, spend time, be with the wild creatures. We've got lots of habitat values as well as the food gardening and medicine plants and stuff.
Now there's a big workshop coming up, urban homesteading, this is going to be used, as you said, for demonstration and educational purposes.
Yeah.
So how did you come to create that partnership?
Well, Kevin Wilson of Fiddler's Farm, who puts together the Urban Homesteading School, was one of our original permaculture students in the first round of the permaculture design course that we teach here.
Okay.
And I was just one of our stellar, super community-involved permaculture folks. And that was always our hope with this project, is that it would be a resource to the community. So it was just a really natural fit. Cool.
Very, very cool. This is so interesting to be able to have something that the whole community can come and participate in and learn. Like, it's just such a great educational value here.
Well, one of our goals was always to get away from the community garden model where it's just more private property. You know, my 10 by 10 garden, my food, I work it by myself. This is more of a collaborative project. It's a public project. The idea is that food and medicine should be free, and people should come and eat and have medicine and interact with the earth in a way that doesn't need fences and boundaries and gates.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, and good luck continuing this project, and congratulations, because it's really extraordinary.
Thanks. We're pretty amazed at the support we've gotten in the community, so it's
awesome.
Pretty great.
We're going to take a short break. Don't go away. I'm Mary Ruth Harris. You've been watching Go Island on Shaw TV's Channel 4. We are here in sunny Powell River at the town site Anglican Church, where a few years ago they built a permaculture garden right here on the grounds of the church. It's not the church that's running it, it's the whole of the community, and it's built as a free garden for people to share food and medicine. How cool is that? Now, there's a workshop coming up on March 28th and 29th, urban homesteading, and that's what today's show has been all about. Thank you to Kevin Wilson for his interview and talking to us about what that actually means, and that you can actually do urban homesteading even if you have just a patio. And also thank you to Yanni and Ren, who talked to us about the workshop and talked to us about the garden itself and how it came to be. Now we're going to have a look at this story, but we will be right back. Go Island has been on location in Powell River today, here at the Anglican Church in town site, at this community permaculture garden, I guess is what they call it. This is really incredible. It's a place for everybody to come and grow food, grow medicine, share medicine, and they also put on workshops, not only for the garden, but they also partner with other community groups, such as Kevin Wilson, who is doing the homesteading, urban homesteading, on March 28th and 29th. Pretty fantastic place to learn, don't you think? So if you want to know how to grow anything, and if you want to learn how to do it in an urban setting, this is the workshop for you. I understand that it is filling up fast, so make sure you get in touch with Kevin and get yourself registered. Now that's it for today's show. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fabulous week. We'll see you in a couple of days.